Do not attempt to adjust your speakers. The sounds that you're about to hear are various sounds that come from a human's mouth. So this is what we came with.
Shit, I gotta figure out that.
Where are you walking to hockey? I'm like, when did you all of a sudden care about this hockey?
Dude, same thing with Salome. She literally called me at lunch and she goes, how are we watching the hockey game tonight? I'm like, when did you start watching hockey? All
She's
of a sudden,
like, I want to go eat wings while we're watching it. Okay, well.
It started mattering when politics got into the hockey
Well, did you
game.
see, is that real what Donald Trump posted?
what?
I saw this thing.
I saw that you posted something, but I
Yeah,
didn't see
I don't
what
know.
it was.
Save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast.
Oh, it's recording.
Well, let me find it. I don't know if half this crap is real or not. Man, stupid AI, man. I don't know what half the posts, if it's like Photoshop. It's like, is this tweet? Did someone actually tweet that? I never know any of that stuff
It is
anymore.
hard to.
Who knows, right? Is that a real picture? We're actually, sorry, we are recording?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait,
You know, it's being weird. The voice changed a little bit.
the chain will get a little, I'm getting a little excited. I also got a fry stuck in my throat. So, also mention throwback to past episodes where I'm trying to get rid of th, throat, not throat, not throat, throat. Here, where is it? Where's it? He posted. Oilers slaying the biscuit. There, this guy. Look at this guy. It says Donald J. Trump. I'll be calling our great American hockey team this morning to spur them on towards victory tonight against Canada, which, with far lower taxes and much stronger security, will someday, maybe soon, become our cherished and very important 51st state.
Oh my god!
I will speak before the governor's night. And this says, and if Governor Trudeau, and I'm like, is this fake? Is this real?
I have
I don't
no
know.
idea.
Yeah. Who knows?
How are the cameras lowered?
How are the cameras lowered? How are the cameras lowered? How are the cameras lowered? How are the cameras lowered? How are the cameras lowered? How are the cameras?
All right, bye.
Tarzan.
Awesome.
I don't know. But isn't that actually crazy? You know the worst movie posters or
Yeah.
like TV posters? You see all those fake ones? Like, hey, create an AI for episode or for season 3 of such and such show, and everybody's like, what? No way, they're bringing back season 3. And they're like, no, there's actually only season 2. And
You know what I was creating because we're talking about fake AI posters. I have I'm a part of Pickleball League.
oh, good. Pickleball League, you're a pickleball pro?
Yeah, and it's MLP style. MLP style is a faster format of pickleball.
MLP?
MLP, Major League Pickleball.
Okay, faster. Okay.
It's a faster version of regular pickleball, which is PPA. So we had to come up with a team of 6, and they get drafted into the team to be a part of it. 3 men, 3 women. And we are called the Lob Stars.
Lob Stars.
Because we lob the ball above and they have to run
and it's
whatever.
play on the famous crustacean, a lobster.
Yes, lobster. So yesterday I was on ChatGPT creating a logo, and I said, ChatGPT, create me a logo for my pickleball league. It has to have a lobster in it and a pickleball paddle in it and some version of shining stars. And it did this.
Camera's not going to zoom. I hope you know that. We got to send that to the boss. There.
Yes. It did a few other versions.
Yep.
Which were not as
good.
as
long as there's no nudity in there, you can put it on a shirt, right?
It started
What does
using
a naked lobster look like? Just a lobster?
Probably, right?
Man, what are they hiding under that shell? That's what I want to know.
I feel like that's already been discovered. It's like a pretty common food now, isn't it? Where you kind of, take it all apart.
I wasn't implying that we'll never know. It was just an open air question. Like, guys, we need to figure out what's under that.
Also, this one with a jacked up lobster with an Apple Watch on its head.
Yeah, piss test that lobster there. Holy smokes.
Steroids all over. So, talking about creating fake but Cool graphics. There's that. Lobstars.
That's my first time eating on a show like that. I didn't like it. I'm sorry for my lack of professionality.
Professionality.
Ronnie's assistant, can you bring me a napkin?
Oh my God! Stop it.
Sorry.
There's no.
Well, introduce the episode. I'm gonna go ahead. Say welcome to
Jesus
episode number
Christ.
whatever it is, 24.
We are, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 24 of For the Record podcast. My name is Rhoni, and here with me, who is about to go wash his hand, Mr. Jojo Siwa Sims. He's not here, so he doesn't get to hear it until he's
I think you should
driving.
have just left it at Jojo Siwa.
My hands are so clean.
His hands are clean.
Yeah, you want to do the smell check?
No,
what my mom
thanks.
always did when I was a kid. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Nope.
I'll be like, she's like, did
I
you
don't
wash
know
your
what
hands?
you're talking about.
You talking about like scratch and sniff? Or what?
No. You're a kid, and it was like annoying to wash your hands. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna wash my hands, but sometimes you didn't, or they could brush your teeth. You're like, Mom, brush your teeth, and then you didn't. So they do the smell check. So you got to smell the hands, so they can smell the soap on your hands. Where you go with your breath. Nope.
Never happened in my life. Either you have a very caring mom and I did not, or either you had a lot of issues as a kid and your mom wanted to be sure.
No. She had no issues. I don't know. Sometimes I just think any kid. I always find that funny. We sometimes struggle with Xavier. He doesn't like brushing his teeth. He thinks brushing his teeth is the most annoying, like, waste of time.
Fair point.
But then he'll go to the dentist. Dude's got messed up teeth. I'm like, you know how you could, and he hates it. He's like, I never go to the dentist again. They were hurting my teeth. He doesn't sound like that, but that's my impression of a child. Yeah.
One day he's gonna start listening to these podcasts. I'm like, what the
We listen
heck?
to it all the time. Yeah. Dinner conversation. No. Anyways, I'm like, you could solve this very easily by taking, 90 seconds out of your day to brush your teeth.
It only takes you 90 seconds to brush your teeth.
Well, it only takes a child 90 seconds. They got small mouths and have
I was
not enough
told
patience.
as a kid, it's a solid 5-minute process.
Whoa.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, brush that thing like you are there.
Brush-
5 minutes.
Brush that thing. He's like, Ron, brush that thing. You get that toothbrush up in there?
That's not how that went, but 5 minutes is what I thought. And I still to this day, I'm like sitting there sleepy as hell. Just still, I'm not even kidding.
That seems, redundant. That's like, wow.
Yeah, that's a little excessive. Like, I think that it's supposed to be like 2 minutes is the like recommendation. I'm pretty sure. I have an electric
Minute for top,
toothbrush
minute for
and, like,
bottom? Yeah, I don't
and
know.
It has like a
Do you guys brush your
2
tongue?
minute like timer.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the toothbrush, or do you have one of those tongue cleaners?
No,
That's
tongue cleaners are the grossest things ever.
Yeah, it's a weird.
It is a weird instrument that you got to carry with you to clean your tongue. Just fucking
Carry it with you. Well, you don't have to carry it with you.
I'm so fired about
Everywhere.
No, I've had people travel with their toothbrush, tongue cleaner, and I'm like,
If it's
no.
your thing, but you bring it with you. You just got it in your like pocket.
No,
you know?
not like that.
Phone,
But when you're
wallet,
traveling.
keys, tongue cleaner.
But no, like it feels like an extra thing to carry. Like just flip your toothbrush on your tongue and brush away, and that's all you need to do. But welcome to Tooth Hygiene Podcast.
Yeah, welcome to our next guest. We got a dental hygienist coming in today.
But yeah,
We're talking about
what are we talking about?
DJing. We here
Today
are DJs.
our topic here is evolution of DJing.
Yes, the evolution.
How did it start, and how are we here today?
Evolution. First, we got to start. Yeah, we are. We believe in evolution of DJing here. Just to clarify, I don't want to get religious. Yeah, but in regards to DJing, let's just separate the two.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we evolve.
We evolve.
And
So let's just break this down. So we can take this conversation a couple different ways. But you have a little bit more expertise on this than I do.
Okay.
You've been in the game a little while.
Yeah.
Because you're an old man.
Yeah.
You are.
Got some grace to prove.
Leave in the comments how old you think Ronnie is. That's just a separate thing.
I'm never gonna
I'll give
look
you a
at the
secret.
cup.
There's a reason why he wears a hat. And
Why you gotta attack me like that, bro? Like, what did I do to you? Why are we attacking me?
there's
right
no
now?
attack. It was just
a normal conversation.
Yeah, no,
turned into
that's-
attack Ronnie time.
no.
Let's guess his age. Let's figure out what's under his hat.
What's the shoe size? Yep. Guess Ronnie's shoe size in the comments too. And then we might misconstrue it for his age. It's like, oh, he's a 13, or are you guessing his age or his shoe size? We don't know.
hey. Okay, so
How long have you been DJing, Ronnie?
since 2010.
2010.
The end
How
of
old were you?
2009.
No, I'm not going to ask that. We don't want to spoil it. You're 2010.
I'm not going to worry about my age.
No,
but,
I
you know,
wanted to
because
keep it-
we
we're
asked
gonna keep
people
it a
to guess
mystery.
in the comments.
We're
I
gonna
got to
keep it a
keep it a mystery until
Yeah.
next episode.
So you, bustling professional in 2010,
Yeah.
started DJing.
So here's how it started for me. Before we get into evolution of DJing,
Okay.
for me it started because I was making music on my laptop. Right, I would
Nice.
be like, "Hey, I want to do some stuff." And FL Studio was this app that came out.
FL Studio.
FL Studio, yeah, like
What is
Florida,
FL?
Florida FL, right?
Fruity Loops.
Fruity
is what it
Loops.
stands
Fruity
for.
Loops.
Yeah.
Fruity Loops Studio.
Yeah, so it was the software that I started with, and it was one of a kind because it came up with a step sequencer option in it. So at that point, it was like, oh, this is a cool little thing. You can make beats in like less than 20 seconds. I was like, oh, this is cool. So I was always into like trance music and techno stuff that I wanted to do. Tiesto, before he became Tiesto, he was very popular in Europe purely for his trance. Early Tiesto work was under a genre of trance. So that's what I wanted to make. And I would make it. It would sound like absolute trash.
Oh.
I'd show my dad. Dad
Trance
would tell
trash.
me, hey, yeah, how about you try something else? It wasn't that good.
It's like the kid who's like really passionate about a sport.
Dad, what do you think? And
Yeah.
he was like,
Or like-
being the most immigrant brown dad he was, I'm surprised he even like encouraged me and listened to what I made, and not tell me to.
It's
go
like when you're a
fucking
kid,
read
you're
a
an
book.
artist and you're proud of your artwork and you go, hey, like check this out. What do you think? And they're like,
Yeah.
well, not good. Yeah, that's something. Good.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Good work.
Where you
love,
never,
love the effort.
You never put it on the fridge. You just
Do
hide
you?
it under several garbage. So that was what it was. So and at that point, I was like, okay, what do you want me to do? It's like, I don't know. See if DJing is something you can do because you
have an
like
interest in it,
Tiesto.
yeah.
Tiesto is a DJ, and if that's something you wanted to do, I was like, okay. And then that's when I went down the rabbit hole of YouTube and learned about what DJing was. And
YouTube in 2010.
it was brand new.
Different-
YouTube was
different
3 years
world.
old. It was a
Different world. You guys remember when you didn't have to watch an ad?
Before ads, bro, it
Yeah.
was a different world.
Now it's annoying. Now you got to pay money if you don't want to watch ads.
Now we live in a dystopia.
It's crazy. So, okay. So but let's be real.
Mhm.
You are still young
Yeah.
when it comes to DJ. We need to get that Jared guy to talk about his
Oh
OG.
my God.
That guy's seen some eras.
Yeah,
But even him, like if we go back further.
He's forgotten more music than we remember at this point.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
Um,
But I don't know exactly if we want to Google the year that the first DJs were known, but like
I think so. From what I know, it was. Well, let's go back way back. Why it started the way it started? It went back. Go back to turntables and not turntables, more than vinyl records. Way back when we had music coming out of vinyl records, and that turned into cassettes, and then that turned into CDs, whatever. But along the way of it going from vinyl to cassettes, there was this moment with Grandmaster Flash, and just a little before that, where he wanted to blend different songs into one. Again, the history goes much deeper than what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
But it was from one vinyl track to another, and he wanted to blend it on the dance floor. And he was a radio jockey at that time. He was not, the DJ was never a thing. It was just the guy who plays music on the radio.
well, he was
And
a
would also be
grandmaster though. I don't know how he got that title.
that came after in his life, but earlier.
Oh, he wasn't
called-
Grandmaster
He
yet.
wasn't a Grandmaster at that
What
point.
did he have? I'm on the edge of my seat. What did he have to do to get this grandmaster
So
title?
It was using where he realized, okay, if this vinyl record spinning in this RPM can match with this music spinning at this RPM, I can match that. I can play 2 songs at the same time, still sound great, and move from one song to another. The technology for this was ancient because it was not something that existed, but he was able to make it happen. And that's also the start of where I think hip hop started around 1970s, and 73 is where the start of that comes into play. But that's where most of the things started.
I would say like, yeah, DJing kind of originated a lot more in the world of hip hop and then kind of evolved from there. But
Yeah.
I just love actually this kind of can carry it in to nowadays because our timeline of evolving from when he started to now is there's still an evolution. But I love maybe love is a different word when people who used to DJ 30 plus years ago come and talk to me mid-event. Like, oh, they're looking at my stuff, looking at the mixer and looking at this and that. They're, oh, wow, look at that. Oh, yeah. Well, back in my day. And they just talk about how they went to events and they like, I can pack all my stuff into a little sedan. You know, give me a Honda Civic, give me a Chevrolet Cruze or whatever. I can put it all the equipment in there.
But
30 years ago,
that was
no way.
Forget that. When I started, I needed a
Trailer
cargo van, at least
or a trailer, yeah.
Trailer to take the stuff for a party that we do today with what we can fit in a Civic. There were times like you were lugging around 150, 200 pound speakers to set up and run things because that's
speakers,
what was available.
Boxes of
and that was not even that long.
Vinyls,
That's how we started. Yeah.
Like boxes of things you had to do that, and it's slowly like I would say honestly, if we talk about the evolution of anything and everything, the size like you talk 50 years ago a computer, not that there was much computers 50 years ago, but huge, and then now it's in this palm of our hand.
Yeah, it's
same with the music
and the fact that music evolved with everything, right? So the music evolved, then required our the need for the system to evolve, and the system evolved, and the need for better music happened, and then equipments, and then you added how the music was made was now not just real life instruments, and it's not just it was computers and synthesizers and everything else came in, and that being transferred over. So just everything had to move at a certain pace, and then technology just kept evolving around with it. So yeah, I went from vinyl and then to cassettes. Oh, there were times that I've seen photos of older DJs who've carried crates and crates of cassettes because they had a tape deck recorder with A and B sides, and they have to exactly know where the songs are, and they have to keep a track.
Wow.
I think today it's hard to keep track of crates and playlists on our software. Back in the day, Jesus,
it's a different world.
Can't even imagine.
Different world. So wait, hold up. Before you guys get too far into these shenanigans we're about to talk about, here's a quick ad read. Hey, it's 2024. Just kidding. It's 2025. It's new year. But same old Trident where we're going to give you the best photo booth experience at your next event. Look, we know how crazy it is to keep track of photos. People were doing hashtags a while ago, trying to keep track of all those things on social media. How about you just get a professional photo booth with lighting, with a backdrop, with a professional camera, and we get all that gathered up to you in a nice, neat gallery, user-friendly. We can have those things printed. We can have them sent right to your phone. However you want it, we offer it with Trident Photo Booths. Follow us on social media or visit us at tridentphotobooths.ca, and we will be at your next event. Let's just talk about like the tech specifically. So we kind of run the standard mixer, use specific software. Like when you started, were there multiple different types of software?
No. So,
or was there just one, and does that one exist anymore?
Yeah. So DJing software was primarily not, I want to say it was along with the evolution of a DAW, like a digital audio workstation, is how like DJ software sort of split off from there, because what was needed was a driver to send audio differently, because you had to cue a song, but at the same time send the song out, a different song out. Yep. So that was it seems like a no-brainer technology right now, but a driver was required, or a specific hardware was required to actually drive the sound differently. So from one deck to the driver to your headphones, and another deck to the hardware and to the speakers, while you make a little crossfader switch where the music actually turns around. So my dad being an electrical engineer, I remember seeing the map of this happen inside of hardware, which still blows my mind to this day. But
From here, and you see the
it was
see the
so
press.
many circuit diagrams of how they actually played and what it worked out. Again, this is the start of everything. But
So yeah, we're talking about
that was not existent, and then the software came around, and then was able to
because now like you got pretty like record box,
virtual DJ.
Serato.
There's a couple before that. I know the old folks will know better. I want to know. Bring Jared on for this one.
We'll have to get Jared.
But,
We'll have to get
virtual DJ is what sort of made it mainstream because it was available on every laptop possible, and you could mix songs, and it was quite economical to buy the software and everything. And most of them at that point, we were just got off the Napster kick, so we were all pirating everything possible. So
LimeWire, you guys remember LimeWire?
Yeah. And during this time, the radio DJs sort of came up with the software first too. So they needed some custom software built.
Well, that's kind of actually interesting you point that out, because if you want to think about like part of the origins of DJs come from radio. Like radio was.
You had to keep a steady flow of music going.
Yeah.
Right? And there was no dead air. So it was just once you're on air, everybody was listening to music the entire time. So
and if you did have dead air, you had to fill it with your radio voice. Hey, welcome to Heard It Whatever.
Or go the NPR style. That was Billy Idol.
I love it. So instead of boring people with the technology, boring people with those things, do you think that anything has evolved in terms of the party itself since it started? Because there's kind of two forms of thought, right? Like obviously as a species, as
Bear beats Galactica. Sorry. Every time somebody says two forms of thought, I go to Office episode.
The Office, yeah, okay.
Where Jim goes, okay, Bear beats Battlestar Galactica. Yeah.
Thank you for that side note. No, it's great. I'm glad you really brought us there. Thanks. And we haven't mentioned The Office in a while. We had to bring it in. We've evolved. Yeah. There's trends. There's whatever. But like the bare bones of a party are the same, are they not?
The point of I guess I think the goal is keep people dancing without any sort of
because I was saying the goal is the same. Like if you do think of Manitoba Social, like the goal and the outline of it hasn't changed.
No.
We have a dance floor for 4-ish hours, and we're playing music for the whole time and trying to keep people going, and that's it. But like, has anything evolved in that realm? Do you think?
I think how we do it is all that's changed at this point, and how easy it is for us to do it. Right? It was hard. I 100% bet it was harder with vinyls and cassettes and 8-tracks and CDs to do it then, because then you had to know everything by like memory, and you know where everything is and what everything is. Now we can prep it earlier on a laptop, plug a headphone jack in, and you can literally run Bluetooth nowadays. Like that wasn't a thing 6 years ago.
Being able
right?
to,
and then the technology's changed, but it's made it easier. If anything, it's made it easier now to be that person where you can have a steady flow of good music playing and keep
take a request and just kind of do it almost on the spot.
100%. And I think that's where I think technology has made it easier for anybody to be a good DJ, but what separates the good from the great is how good you know the music and how good you know the audience, right?
That is all, and that's kind of plays off of what we talked about before in terms of like what do you look for in a DJ and things like that. Those two things are huge, and I think everybody has their strength. Like I know my audience. Sometimes I don't know my music as well, and that's just maybe me needing to spend more time with my equipment, more time with audio, and like playing and experimenting around. Like I know me and other DJs have done some like kind of training sessions where we've been like given a couple songs, trying to mix them together, you know. And you always have like the way your brain works. You have a certain song that gets played, and you like, oh, I know 2 or 3 songs that I could mix with it. You kind of have that, but knowing your audience, right? That's a skill that's a human skill, and that's a human skill that like it hasn't necessarily evolved.
And it's a little bit of a psychology involved, a little bit of music knowledge involved, and it's a bit of everything, and that comes from a very interesting perspective because it comes down to how you read a crowd is different from how I read a crowd. And how we take that crowd from this to another, to another, to another is very unique to us because our fingerprint in doing that is different, right? So
and prioritizing different things within that, right? Like sometimes and sometimes you have to take yourself out of that. Sometimes I prioritize maybe humor a little bit more than I should. Sometimes I prioritize, someone might prioritize the sound quality a little bit more than I might, or different things like that.
And you see that in the process of when someone's trying to, hire you to be a DJ for an event. You get to see that by going, okay, is this person talking more about music? Or is this person talking more about the gear? Or is this person talking more about the party itself?
Yeah.
Like then you sort of realize, okay, this person prioritizes the quality of the sound.
Or where
this
their
person
experience is,
the
right?
priority of the playlist. And you have to connect with that too, right? And then as a DJ, you, again, evolve into learning those different skills. Now, Spotify has DJ in it. Spotify AI has DJ in it. Like everything has DJ in it. But the point of that was a continuous mix of music that is something that you will enjoy for a prolonged period of time, right? Now, where we come in is how we bring that to the crowd, but with our own flair.
Presentation.
Right? So,
Presentation.
yeah, but nowadays, I would say the technology has made it that much more easier. But with that also comes down to how good is your skill, right? We see TikToks all the time of, people mixing one song to another, and then it's a song that you've never heard of or never thought would work together, but it does. And that's purely music knowledge and how well you know your gear, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's evolved quite a bit.
That is such a funny trend. I love when people send them to me too. I think, because some of them are ridiculous and some of them like, some of it's clearly a joke. Some of it is like they're actually not DJing at all. And you're just like, oh gosh.
Like just this last Christmas too, like start of December, all of a sudden, this was in the middle of a crowd. I can tell like the DJ's actually playing at a bar, and you can tell the dude bought in Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You," and it was only the first line, "All I want for Christmas is you," and then that sort of started looping you, and then started with Soulja Boy's "You."
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And it was so funny, but the crowd in the video went crazy.
Yep.
You'd never think, I'm like, this is crazy. This is
the
so
way people's
stupid.
brains feel like work like that, right? Finding you like just terms. The one I think of wordplay is becoming a big thing. One I think of is Starships, Nicki Minaj. Let's do this one more time. One more time.
Yeah.
One more time. Ding, ding, ding.
And I think that's where we are at right now, is how uniquely can you transition from a song to a song while keeping the crowd entertained is sort of where we're at. And our talent comes down to that specific
Do you
style.
think transition, do you think the technical ability of a DJ or like that technical prowess is more important or less important? Like not from a, like could you get away with it more 20 years ago, or can you get away with it more now? Like, or does it really matter? Like meaning that sometimes maybe it's the chaos of the day. Like I was just at an event, a social this past weekend, which was fun. I've got some good social stories from this one actually, but I had someone who was just on me all night, like requesting and interrupting and just like trying to deal with this person. I called her Leather. I called her Leather because she had leather pants on, which later I found out her name was Heather, which was so funny. Yeah, Leather Heather. But
Heather with the leather on.
Heather with a leather. So like her was like there's her and other people. They're just coming up to me and taking and distracting, and you want to give these people your attention, but you just got to remember there's a party going on. So sometimes like you just get kind of caught up, and all of a sudden you're like, holy smokes, I don't have time to just a song, right? And you kind of have to ad lib, fill the space. Right. I see that as a skill that I have that I would call it a DJ skill.
100%.
Is
managing a crowd while also trying to keep the crowd going.
Is it mixing? Is it anything fancy? Is it fade, echo out? You filter no. It's I just use my voice to fill space, to bring attention to the crowd, and go from there. And that was that. But then, but yeah, I don't know. 25 years ago, was that a viable skill? Like, could I get away with that?
I think I look at it as it's a journey of getting from point A to point B. Point A is everybody's sober, not dancing, and point B is everybody's dancing, having the best time of their lives. How they get there is not necessarily that important in my head. Then do they get there, right? Because how we get to a raging party or a great party is not is honestly slightly not relevant anymore for me, as long as we get there. The end result, because that's what they're gonna matter, is that's what they're gonna remember. I had the best time ever. They're not gonna remember, oh, he did the garbage transition between this song and that song at 11:28 p.m. Like,
you can get that way, but it's funny though, because so I don't need to get into it, but you've had some health things and talking to doctors in the past couple of years, and once you kind of found the culprit or thing, our conscience still goes, hey, why? We're still trying to figure out why or how or anything like that. It doesn't really matter. My doctor told me, he's like, hey, we found it doesn't matter anymore. But like, do you think it happened because of this, this, and this?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter. I'm like, but in this case, it's like, hey, did you have a great time or did you not have a great time? Like, if you got to that point, it's a yes or no. And sometimes people get caught in that.
Yeah. And I think there's expectations of people. Of some people, like, I want to get there a certain way, right?
Oh, it's like we see it. Right? Have you ever had? I've had this once in particular that I think of, where I think the party was fantastic. I think we had a great time, and we got referrals from that people were complimenting me all night. I think the party was awesome. The bride wasn't happy because I didn't use her playlist that she sent me as much as she wanted. Like, she gave me a lot more, like she was, and we always encourage this, like, send us music, send what you're gonna hear. And I did quite a bit, but it just didn't go the way that, like, she wanted to get there. She envisioned it. And I'm like, ma'am, you had hundreds of people having the time of their life.
Right.
You know, the groomsmen had the ties on their heads. That's a good sign.
Right.
And the people were just losing their marbles, singing at the top of their lungs, you know, hugging. And like, just the telltale signs, like, these people had a blast. And I was told by multiple people, had a blast.
Yeah.
And they were just like, but
wouldn't get there the way I wanted to, right? So it's...
And is that
I think that's an expectation based on style and personality. So here's the thing. The example I told you about the Christmas mixing from Mariah Carey and the Soulja Boy. The crowd went crazy, and I think they're gonna some of them are gonna remember how that happened.
Sure.
And now imagine when you do need a DJ for a party, for an event, for a wedding, then you go, what kind of feeling do I want this DJ to create? And you think back, oh, that guy did that, and that was so cool. That's what I want.
Oh, sure.
Right? Now, they don't know he only did that at one part of the evening. There was a bunch of other stuff that had went down. They don't remember that, but they remember that one part. Now, they hold on to that.
Sure.
And that becomes a whole expectation.
Yep.
And now they expect their night to have that at some point where they go, my DJ did this at my wedding, and it was so cool, right?
Yeah.
So now,
or like someone saw, like, hey, I saw Jared.
Yeah.
I love this. Jared's just such a good DJ. So I don't, I say this a little tongue in cheek, but like, hey, Jared was doing live mixes at my wedding. It was incredible. Like, I was doing this and that at my friend's wedding. Like, I want him there. It's funny, like, the term live mixes. I'm like, that's kind of what DJing is anyway. Like, he probably did some really cool transitions that people remember specifically. Like, it's not about the whole night. They probably remember like 3 points, 2 points. We're like, whoa, right? So that's what they want. And they all think, well, only this guy can do. Like, it's kind of the whole.
So that becomes the foundation of what they're looking for and their expectation. And us as DJs who, play for 6 hours a night, we understand that's not all night. No. Imagine if you did that all night, people would be like, bro, like, be normal for a second. Yeah. Right?
Bring a carpal tunnel.
So
bring things back and forth, turning knobs.
It's those things that sort of stick out, and that's moments that stick out become the foundation, and that becomes the expectation for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's not do they have to have this or that or whatever? It's about how we arrive, or do we arrive at the destination not necessarily how we arrived at, right? And as I said, like you do it differently, Jared does it differently, I do it differently, and we all have different styles. And when people come and ask for Joey, they ask for what they saw. When they come ask for me, or when they come ask for Jared, they saw a certain thing. When they come ask for other guys, so it becomes how do we get there?
Oh, for sure.
Or it becomes more of do we get there than how do we get there, right?
Yeah.
So, honestly. But within the DJ realm, people would be like, oh, you need to know how to mix. You need to know how to transition. You need to know how to do this.
Of
like,
course.
Yes, that's a skill.
Yep.
But do I absolutely need to know? Not really. Will my clients have the same amount of fun as your clients would? 100%. But as I said, it's not necessary. It's just we get there.
And I think it's just like anything. It's just like math. I'm gonna bring this. Half the math that you learn in school. Hayden, I know you're a big math guy. Your math in high school, how much of that do you apply to what you do on a daily?
3% of it.
Okay. How about let's go even to your audio school. This guy went to audio school for audio. How much of that do you use on a daily?
Quite a bit.
But like
actually.
quite a bit. Like a good, but would you say more or less than 50%? Like in a specific setting? Like basically what I'm getting at is we learn a lot of things technical wise that you're like, cool, but
you know, the last time I used tan, sine, or cos?
Cosine, yes, and yeah. Never, right? But like there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we learn like technically that it's like, hey, like I know how to. Basically, what I'm getting at, there's a lot of knobs on your mixer that you won't ever use.
No,
you could. Oh, you learned it. Oh, great. Okay, but it's just not practical.
Exactly.
Right.
I think it is a option if you want to.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would say that's something too. Like some of the stuff that you've learned, Hayden, there's probably a couple different ways to do it. Like, and there's probably one way you're like, hey, this is better. Like I could do it the fancy way that they told me, and I got 80% on that test. And you probably got 100% on the test.
Oh, I got more than 80s.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
definitely
this guy got 100%. But like, you don't have to do that. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I find with audio and pretty much any like creative thing, video too, whatever, there's like 5 different ways to do anything, and it's kind of just what works best for you.
Exactly.
So I love it. I think that's where we arrived in today's day and world is the tech will help you get there a certain way. The knowledge will help you get there a certain way. Knowing how to scratch will help you get there a certain way. Knowing the music will help you get there a certain way. But in essence,
it's still the same goal as 30 years ago. It's the same
destination through 16 different routes.
People want to have a good time.
Yeah.
And 30 years ago, it looked different how to get there, but it's still the same thing. Yeah.
So I think that's where we are. And this might change. Oh, wait until AI comes in, knows your music by heart and makes it perfectly in and out and all this and this stuff. Then you lose the human element part of it, right?
You lose the human element.
Things will change. But
what I would say, honestly, if I were to predict where things are going, it's you're going to have some sort of software that basically through prediction, you can toss some suggestions into the software. It mixes, it does it live for you, whatever, and you just accompany it.
There was this post that
I'm hanging out with it. Just go, yeah.
There's a post on Reddit that said, in the near future, there's going to be cameras in 7 different parts of the room that is going to guess crowd capacity, crowd emotion, crowd feeling, and location on the dance floor, and change the music based on it. And it's going to read demo. It's going to try to guess your age. It is going to do all these calculations trying to keep a crowd engaged. It is not in that far away where it can read and play the music that you think and it thinks will work, and you're going to love it. It's not that far away. So I think it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
How fast and how soon and how many things it's going to replace, well, time will tell.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it funny? Like you see these like movies 30, 40 years ago where like us as a human species, would do anything to fight technology, right? Like the robots are coming and take over. And now we're like, yeah, well, how do we do this easier? Like inviting the technology, like exactly.
Forget that.
Invite the tech, yeah.
Using an app on a phone to call a car that does not have a driver to sit in the car and drive from one place to the other.
We just embraced
with zero driver in it and pay for the
it.
car that had no driver in it and walk out of there.
Yeah, it was a
to get
nightmare
there.
50 years ago.
50 years ago, telling me 2011 there'll be cars driving on the street
Not
with
even
no
talking about that,
drivers
but I'm
in
just
it.
saying, like, you just got
It's
stuff
just-
like, I'm just thinking of the era of movies like Terminator and like any of those like more fantasy galactic, like, yeah, the robots are like end of the world type stuff where it's just like, instead of like,
Skynet's coming.
yeah, people freaking out about it. Now it's just like, hey, how could we've embraced it? and we're take
ChatGPT,
over.
how do I do this?
Exactly. Yeah, now it's just different.
So
Pretty crazy.
I think as much as we love to hate on non-human involved technology, we are just as woven into the fabric of technology more than we know.
Wow, you sounded so elegant there.
Woven.
Woven. No, not woven. Oh, geez.
Woven.
Woven.
Yeah.
Okay, you ruined it. I was really trying to give you props and then you
Thank you.
mispronounced
And then
it.
I just said
It's
it
okay.
wrong.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's okay. But that's what I think we'll
It's a
draw
nice
the line of
conversation.
evolution. Now I can't talk.
Oh, boy.
Evolution of
we better stop this episode. His English is
leaving
you.
Yeah. So, but that's it.
That was cool. I like that conversation.
It's pretty good.
I think Jared would have some really cool things to say.
I think we're gonna have to do
We're gonna
part
have
2
to
of
get
this.
that guy. We're gonna have
Part
to get
2.
him and not lock him down. That guy's a busy man. I don't know how do you lock him down for an hour, but
I have to feed him like 2 Red Bulls to keep him focused.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have wings.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you have
he
2
will.
Red Bulls, do you have bigger wings or do you have 4 wings? What'd you
I
guys
don't know,
guess?
It's Thursday wing night. I only think about a dozen wings right now. So
A dozen? That means you have to have 6 Red Bulls.
I like the image of 4 wings.
4 wings? And would it be like kind of like a crown of wings? Like you have their main wing spot and they would be like trap, or would it be like
Or
low,
look like a-
low?
I don't know,
Like-
look like a
I think
bat.
it would make most sense to like start with upper back and then go to like
Lower
Hips.
back.
mid lower back.
Yeah.
So have like a smaller version to help with direction and the bigger version to push them
Yeah,
across.
yeah.
That.
Yeah.
And then as you have more, I don't know, you can just
More.
start filling in wherever.
Start filling different ways. I feel like a single wing is like a rudder or
But-
something like that. That'll be a steer. Yeah.
Like a helicopter, like it's got a big wing, big propeller to do
Oh,
it, and then
like a
broad
propeller?
and a small.
Oh man, can we start a rival company to Red Bull where it's just like Red Bull gives you wings,
We
but
give
you
you
know,
propellers.
yeah, we give you a propeller. That's your thing that goes. What a commercial that would be. Red Bull. I'm gonna what
Black Hawk down.
blue cow? No, that is. I don't like that. I'm just thinking of a different Red Bull.
Blue cow.
Blue.
Blue cow sounds like a dairy milk product.
Yeah. That's sorry. Yeah, this is milk. Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
God.
anyways.
Talk about milk. What? How do you? Did you have coffee with milk today, or?
No, I don't put. If people are following along, I don't put any of that jazz. Like my one last way to saying coffee was like insulting your coffee order from me. It was, he literally gave me chest pain.
Okay, what? White chocolate mocha gave you chest pain?
No, it was just like I felt. Yeah, I don't know. It gave
Maybe
me
you're
some
having
mixed
a heart
feelings.
attack from the caffeine or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But speaking of Joey's unique way of saying coffee, jitter juice.
Jitter juice.
Jitter juice.
Oh.
Get a little bit of the shakes. Some people love it. Some people hate it.
Mm.
Yep. This guy hates it. Hayden
Yeah.
hates coffee.
Yeah.
I sure do.
I think it's because of the jitters. I think he gets scared.
Jitters.
I think he has enough energy and excitement as it is. He just doesn't want to get over it. Could you imagine Hayden on coffee? He'd be too
Dude.
much.
Too much.
Too much.
In what way would I be too much?
As you can tell, as you can tell, this guy is bouncing out of his seat right now with his yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That looks
can't
more
have
like you're
energy.
having a seizure than it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, jitter juice. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. See you next time. Like, subscribe, all that jazz.
Yeah, I haven't said that in a while. Please do. Thank you.
Please make Ronnie sleep better if you do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Bye-bye.